Hey everyone, it is Elle, and today we are going to read about a very, very sad case. This is out of France, and I'm sure some of you have heard of this little guy. He's adorable. Emile Soleil. I mean, look at him. Do kids get cuter than that? So sweet. Only 2 years old. And the little guy disappeared in July of 2023. Now, he disappeared from his grandparents' home in the French Alps. So he was out there in a very remote area and he was gone for a long, long time. I believe it was a year later. I want to say a year later. I didn't write it down, but we can look that up. That he was found, and he was only found 2 kilometers from his grandparents' home, which is really odd considering they had the dogs out looking for this kid, search crews. I mean, France was just captivated by this case. People were searching everywhere for this little guy. And it was just hard to believe that he was that close to their home. Let me see when he was found. I'm just curious. I think it was a year later, but I want to give you the right. Emile Soleil found. Okay, he went missing on July 8th of 2023, and on March of 2024, March 30th, his remains were found. So yeah, it's pretty horrible. Some of the neighbors said they saw him walking down the road by himself, which begs the question, if you saw a 2-year-old walking around by himself, why wouldn't you go and get him? But I don't know. I'm just going to leave it. Just going to leave that one. He is thought to have wandered away, but after he was found, they could not really determine the cause of death after he was found. I guess there was too much decomposition. Sorry. Just sounds terrible, doesn't it? But as far as I know, what the police are saying is it could have been a fall, it could have been manslaughter, or it could have been murder. Now, here's the very, very weird thing. Just recently, the grandparents and 2 other relatives of Emile were arrested for things like concealing a corpse and being accused of his murder. On top of that, they were then released. So who knows what's going on with this case? It's very, very confusing. People were shocked when the grandparents were arrested, both his grandfather, Philippe, and his grandmother, Anne. And on top of that, it's come out that Philippe, the grandfather, was involved in some sort of sex abuse scandal at the school he worked at. This evidently went on from 2014 to 2017. So he has a past. There's a lot of moving facets in this case. So we're just going to ask about their involvement and what in the world happened. I guess when they found the little guy, he had violent face trauma. So it just sounds terrible. Let's go ahead and get started. This reading sounds complicated and like there's a lot to unpack. So let's ask right away. I'm just going to ask about the involvement of Grandpa Philippe in his passing or his hiding his body, just in his disappearance. How about that? Grandpa Philippe involved in Emile's disappearance, that adorable little kid. Okay, right away I get the Chariot, and this is actually a card of moving. People move bodies sometimes. I've gotten this card for people who moved bodies before. I'm just saying, that's what's coming up right away with Grandpa Philippe. Could have been the one who moved him. His body was probably moved, right? Unless he really did wander away, but Grandpa Philippe, I have moving. Moving. So let's ask about Grandma Anne and her involvement in Philippe's disappearance. Grandma Anne and her involvement in Philippe's disappearance. Ew, that's not good. That's the Five of Swords. And somebody asked me to explain the cards a little bit better. Well, you can see this guy, he's angry, right? And you can see these two are walking away from him. And he's holding all these swords. They've thrown their swords down. They can't fight anymore. They've been overcome, overtaken. This person has a very cruel look on his face. If you want to look up this card, this video is maybe not the clearest, but very cruel, very much enjoyed winning and overpowering. I don't like getting that card for Grandma Anne. I don't like getting that card for Grandma Anne because it really, if I'm just going to be honest with what I see, this looks like the person who hurt him, and this looks like the person who moved him. Grandma Anne and Philippe. So it's not real innocent looking at all. It's not really innocent looking at all. There were two other relatives, which were Grandma and Grandpa. Grandma Anne and Grandpa Philippe's other children. So they would have been Emile's uncles or aunts. I don't know that they've been named. Let's ask about their involvement because they also were arrested. So tell me about the other two's involvement in this. Were they one or both of them involved? Okay, so these ones are trying to like keep everybody happy, trying to sort of keep the status quo, trying to be friendly, make everything nicety nice. This is the guy that makes everything nicety nice. Don't necessarily see them being the people involved, but trying to maybe make this a better situation, a nicer situation, appealing to people's emotions, kind of yeah, it just looks, I don't see them directly being involved. I don't. But I do see them as being more kind of trying to smooth over the situation, if you will, smooth over the situation. All right, someone else entirely being involved, other than the four that we've got here. Someone else entirely being involved. Tell us about that. Someone else entirely. Well, look at this sneaky person. That is someone else also being pointed at. So not only do I have Philippe and Anne as possibilities here, strong possibilities, but it looks like somebody else other than Philippe, Anne, and the two cousins was involved. What is showing me. Okay. Let me ask, is this an intentional homicide? Was this an intentional homicide? Was this done intentionally? Like, did someone hurt this baby intentionally? Was little Emile hurt intentionally? This I'm not feeling was, well, okay, I see what it is. This is somebody hiding something underneath stuff. Okay, so that part was very intentional. The hiding, you see all this stuff. I've gotten this when people have been hidden under stuff. I got this for what was that little boy? They searched and searched the whole trash dump for him. Can't remember his name, but if you've watched my readings, you may know who he was. I think I got this card for him. Hiding. So when I ask intentional homicide, I get this whole cover up and we have to hide it. Make of that what you will. All right. Well, my next card was, did they hide his body? And that was the next question I had. So did they hide his body? I'm seeing that they did. Did they hide his body? It looks like Philippe, maybe. All right, so this is somebody that is holding back a lot of stuff, trying to defend his position and trying to stop things from coming at him, right? And why would you hide the body? Because you're trying to stop things from coming at you. You're trying to hold all that back and make it not affect you. That's what it's a defensive thing. So he's trying to, like, in a way, play play defense and just hide basically the evidence is what I'm saying. It does look like grandparents had a role in this, unfortunately. That's what the cards are saying. Okay, did the people involved cause the skull violent face trauma? The skull and violent face trauma. Did the people involved actually cause that trauma? Well, look at this. The people involved, it's telling me, caused his death. That's what it's saying. They caused his death. I find it interesting that we got the chariot right away. I do wonder if perhaps they accidentally, I hate to say this, it's going to sound terrible, but maybe ran him over because the chariot stands for a vehicle. And it might have been Anne driving, which is why we saw this. And it might have been Philippe that then said, we have to hide this. I mean, I am getting things along those lines. But there was that 5 of swords, which is a very intentional harming too. So when I asked, did they cause a skull violent face trauma? Yeah, I mean, I got the death card. Yeah, yeah, they caused his death. All right, let's ask about Philippe being this. Let me ask, was it purposefully? Was it purposeful or an accident? Purposeful? Did this happen purposefully? Somebody got angry. Somebody acted out of whatever. Was this a purposeful thing towards Emile? Again, we have the lady. I keep seeing the lady. It does really point fingers at Anne more than Philippe, interestingly. But I'm getting pointed back to the lady as a purposeful thing. It does make me think it, I hate to say it, but let's do a card for purposeful or accident. Well, let's pull a card for accident. Was it an accident? Was this an accident? I feel like they were fighting. I feel like there was some anger. I don't feel like it was necessarily an accident because I feel this anger here, which we saw in the 5 of Swords when we pulled a card for Anne. And then we've got, the woman, and then we've got this conflict, anger, fighting, like somebody being angry. And we've got the little boy dying. It looks bad. The situation looks bad from the cards. I'll just say the cards I'm getting are bad. But it's more implicating Anne than Philippe. Philippe looks like he hid it and wanted to cover it up. But and when I say it, I mean the little boy, which is terrible. Was Philippe a sex offender at school? I wanted to ask these questions about Philippe because I thought he was the one behind all of this. Was Philippe a sex offender at school? Yeah, he was. Multiple times over. Multiple times over. He really hurt people, broke their hearts, caused harm, caused a lot of emotional harm. This is emotional harm. Yeah, Philippe caused a lot of emotional harm. We'll chalk that up as yes. What a sad household for this little boy to grow up in. And sad that he was growing up around these people. Did they all kind of do it together? I'm just going to leave the 2 because I didn't see the 2 uncles and aunts or whoever they were. Could have been 2 uncles, could have been 2 aunts, or an uncle and an aunt. But Philippe and Grandma Ann, did they do it together, meaning harming the child? Because I've got Grandma Ann doing it mostly. But was Philippe involved in harming the child too, or just moving him? Basically, is what I've got. And it looks like he just moved him. That's the Knight of Wands. That's a card for moving. You see the horse and traveling. So Philippe was the one who moved him, but unfortunately the cards are implicating Grandma Ann as the one that hurt him. Why were they released without charges? Why was this family, these people released without charges? Why were they released without charges? Okay, so this is getting your wish. And I'm not sure if it's the investigators who got their wish or the other people. So I do feel like somebody was getting their wish out of this. Let me ask if the investigators have good evidence against them. Do the investigators have good evidence against them? I don't know why they would release them, but I don't know the laws in France. Do the investigators have good? Well, they have information against the woman. It looks like against the woman. There's more to this story than can be told. And I say that because this little bird is her captive. It's got a hood on its head and she's holding it captive and she's kind of living in her dream, you know. She's got her money and her nice things that she enjoys, and it's single woman. So they're singularly focusing on this woman. Even they know the woman is more to be blamed than the man, it seems. Okay. So they are focusing on the woman. We will ask if they'll be convicted, but let's ask what happened here. Let's just ask a general what happened. It looks like she got angry, lost her cool. What happened? And again, the queen with the emotions. Her emotions got the best of her. We really are being pointed towards Grandma Anne. Again and again and again, her emotions got the best of her. With the baby. You see all these babies on this card? I don't know if you could see them, but there's babies here, 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 here. They're all over that card. And her emotions, the queen, the cups are emotions, and the queen is standing for Grandma Anne. So her emotions got the best of her. She's very focused on her emotions in that moment. Let's ask if this case is going to be solved. Will this case be solved? Will this case be solved? I do believe it is. I feel like these detectives are working it. So what they've done is this is the Knight of Pentacles, and he's holding a pentacle, as you can see. He's in the background of that card is a field all tilled up, already planted, ready to harvest. I do think they're going to harvest. They're working on it. They're working on it. And this case has been worked quite a bit. I think they're about to harvest. Meaning, I think they're about to have all the charges and go. I think it's going to happen. So let me ask to go, what do we need to know here? What do we need to know? Anything else that we need to know? Anything else that we need to know in this case? Okay, I'm getting two cards here. All right, so then we've got the Two of Pentacles going back and forth, and I've got the King of Swords. So that tells me, well, two is making me think automatically the two-year-old. It's making me think of Philippe, the paid, the little guy. It's making me think of him, Two of Pentacles. But I've also got the King of Swords. And so some of this, the hiding the body was the man's idea. We have that. Swords are ideas, and we have the man there. Hiding the body was the man's idea. There were two people in on that idea, though. It wasn't just the man. Okay, so this is probably where those other two come in, trying to keep the peace, trying to smooth things over. They also, I believe, intellectually had this idea of, we got to cover this up, we got to hide it. That's what it feels like. All right. Let's just see, when can we expect this case to be solved? When can we expect this case to be solved? Soon, not so soon. What are we going to give for that? When can we expect this case to be solved? All right, so here is the Five of Pentacles. I don't think it's going to happen real soon, but I do think there's going to be trouble with grandparents. I feel like these are the grandparents. They're sort of going to be exiled from their community, to be honest with you. I feel like they're going to be in a lot of trouble, and I'm not sure they're not going to potentially do something to harm themselves. Honestly, that could happen. They're really down in the dumps, as you can see. And I do feel like they do feel terrible. They do. There's definitely a feeling of them being ostracized, and I I do feel like they will be punished. If not, if they don't punish themselves first. That's what I feel. I do feel like they will be punished if they don't punish themselves first. So let me ask, is this something we have to worry about? Is the grandparents doing something so that they won't have to go to jail, prison, whatever that is? Do we have to worry about the grandparents? Yeah, it's possible that they might take that action, is what I'm seeing. So that's something they have to account for. It is possible that the grandparents may take that action. That's what I'm getting in the cards. Very grim reading, very heavy reading. It just looks like a bad situation all around. But I do think it's going to be discovered, found out, and the grandparents are paying a price. It may not look like it at this moment, but they are. I can see it. I can promise you that they are. So, um, and I do believe they will even pay more. So, unfortunately, that's what the cards are saying. They're implicating grandparents. All right, everyone, take care.